So for you guys, 4 games into the season, the team's off to a pretty good start. Individually, how have you felt about your success?
I think we're playing pretty well. Individually, I can't complain. I don't know. I'm just kind of focused on what we're doing as a defense and what we're doing as a team. Whatever kind of happens in between those lines and in between during the game, it happens.
How do you view, I guess, the character of this team? Because if you look at the 3 wins, they all have an identity that includes at some point dealing with some adversity, coming from behind to win. I mean, that's pretty special to do, especially right off the bat of the season, right?
Yeah, we're definitely a young, hardworking team. We bring that energy. We kind of have that never give up attitude and mentality. So we never think that we're out of a game. So even if you look at the first game, we were down 10-5 at half. Like, we're not out of it. We can still battle. Just focus on that next shift. Just focus on whatever's going to happen next.
To not only see the resiliency in games, but what you have to do going into games. I say that because of the injuries and how early in the season quite a few noteworthy names are out. I mean, what does that say about the, I guess, depth of the organization with where they're at?
Yeah, I think the last couple of years we've added some great depth. It's just the nature of the league, nature of the game. Guys are going to go down with injuries. Guys are going to be out. So just being able to take it in stride has shown some maturity in our group.
When you go against Buffalo, is there a chip on your shoulder at all against a former team like that?
Sometimes. There definitely used to be. I feel like I've been away from it enough now, but it's always a fun game. It's a great rivalry. They're a good team. We're a good team, so it should be a fun game.
Just asked Connor Fields, kind of a similar question I'll ask you. It feels like when you guys left Buffalo and came to Rochester, your career kind of took off again and you reached new ceilings, new highs. What allowed that? What allowed that in your case to make that transition here and have so much success as a Nighthawk?
I think just a little bit of growing up. My time in Buffalo was my first 2 years in the league. One of them was cut short by COVID, so getting here, being a little bit older, having a little bit more time to mature in the league, I think has helped that. But Rochester's a great place. I'm sure I can speak for Connor as well. We're excited to play here. So just being able to bring that energy and excitement every weekend is probably helping that as well.
I know you said, okay, maybe you don't have a chip on your shoulder anymore against these guys, but just overall, when these two teams do get together, I mean, it's special. It's a fun rivalry.
For sure. Yeah, it's always a fun game. Their crowd travels really well. Obviously, this year and last year, we've been doing really well and having great crowds. So the atmosphere should be a lot of fun. It's always a chippy game, so yeah, looking forward to it. It should be good.
With this style of offense, you just can't walk in and go, "Oh, we're just going to shut them down completely." But when you look from a defensive standpoint, like, what are your focus points then? Like, what do you want to shut down first? Like, what's your priority?
They obviously have like their big guys, like Dane and Josh are great players, and we have to take those guys into account. But we just want to play our game. We want to do our thing. I think if we start focusing on what they're doing offensively too much, then that kind of leads into what we're going to allow them to do. So if we're going to play our game, obviously keep in mind they have some great players at their O-door. We just want to focus on what we're doing, and at the end of the day, if their offense is able to get past that, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, and if we have to adjust, we have to adjust.
Talk a little bit about how Hodges played this year. I mean, certainly, like, he's kind of been thrown in the mix. He was coming in as the backup, but now he's started. He's off to a really great start. Like, what is it like playing with him?
Hodges awesome. He's a great guy. He's a great goalie. I think as a group, we have the utmost confidence in him. So it's been easy. Like, we trust him back there. It's not one of those situations where you're worried about letting up a shot because you never know what's going to happen. He's solid back there, and we have the utmost faith in him.